Okay, as we talk weather, we have to talk heat. You know it was hot out there today. It felt like it snuck up on us. This is how we closed out the day. This is the prettiest video from Linden. I cannot get over Utah Lake. Obviously, the boats were coming in tonight. The sun was going down, but the reflection of that sunset in the water, someone was swimming. This is like, oh yeah, it's June. We're into summer. Gosh, you've got to be careful because this heat snuck up on us fast. It was the hottest day of the year in Salt Lake. 95, that's where we topped out, 15 degrees above seasonal norms. We had 90 in Logan, 90s in Provo and Vernal, upper 90s towards Moab. Look at Hanksville, Green River, breaking that record in St. George, getting to 108. You know, typically St. George will see a 108 reading, but it's closer to July 4th. So the fact that it's a month early happened really fast, and they're not getting much of a break tonight. We've got those dark skies. The lights are on, but the temperatures are still in the mid-90s with those clear conditions right now in Washington County, up to 2 triple-digit days. And we're going to add to this number in the coming days as this ridge of high pressure, even though it wants to slide east, remains in control. Our heat alerts hold on tonight for the desert Southwest. We're going to see that heat advisory in effect. It is right now and holds on until midnight Friday, and then midnight Saturday, you actually see the excessive heat warning. So into the weekend, that excessive heat holds on in lower Washington County. It's dangerous heat. Now, we also forewarned you about that spike in temperatures and how it would impact our local waterways. In the next 5 days, we expect minor flooding in the Cottonwood Creek area, but new tonight, we've got a flood watch. This is now in effect through Saturday afternoon near Oakley. This is the upper Weber River. Because of this heat, we are seeing more snow coming off the mountains. The runoff is high, fast, and cold. We've been talking about it, and now a flood watch in effect. So please be careful and keep those pets and people away from those high waters. Speaking of the heat and dry conditions, our drought monitor new today shows abnormally dry conditions on the eastern side of the state, but we actually see some pretty good progress. We actually have more than 76% of the state not facing drought conditions, which is really good news to be able to talk about when we have an early season heat wave. Let's talk moisture because we saw it in Nevada and sneaking into northern Utah, the northwest corner of the state and over the mountains. So as this ridge slides to the east, we're going to flatten it a little bit, which means the slight chance of storms does hold on. We've got the general threat for the Beehive State, a bulk of Utah from Cache Valley all the way down to Iron County for our Friday, meaning as we flatten the ridge, we've got moisture potential. You saw the clouds out there. We could get some storms, and our Futurecast stays on top of this very well. As we look, we kind of see as we head into our Friday, the West Desert, we start to pick up on those storms by the evening hours, some spotty storms over in eastern Utah. A few pop-up showers or thunderstorms possible. Gusty winds would be the biggest threat by ABC4 News at 10 tomorrow. We could see places like the Ogden Valley and Salt Lake County with a few passing storms. The heat is still going to be a major headline, though, because temperatures will be above average throughout the West. I mean, we're still talking 10 to 13 degrees above seasonal norms. So this is the high that's going to start to pull east. So the ridge flattens a tiny bit. It's still in control, but that allows for weak disturbances to kind of bring in the cloud cover. Also watching that low, which could sneak some cloud cover and maybe some cooler temperatures Sunday into Monday, but doesn't last forever because that high comes back, which means the potential of high heat for next week returning. Not the last of the warnings we're going to see. Above 80 degrees for the next 5 days for the Wasatch Front and staying above average in St. George as well. This stretch of triple digits doesn't really want to relax. As we look at the regional forecast, you see 80s and 90s, so maybe a degree or two cooler tomorrow with that additional cloud cover and the chance of those storms for the Wasatch Front. 90s, triple digits still towards Moab, 107 in St. George. Let's take a degree off. Hopefully they're a little cooler than that. I know it happened quickly, folks. As you zoom in, you're able to see our mountain valleys holding on to the 80s and 90s, but the West Desert does have the potential to see a thunderstorm that could track along the Wasatch Front, so eyes to the skies. It's an unstable atmosphere as that ridge pulls away. 90s throughout central Utah, and in the south, we have the heat holding on to triple digits through Sunday. There's your brief break Monday. Gosh, that's not fun. It's still 98. And then we jump back up with those triple digits and lots of sunshine. Here's the Wasatch Front, our first 90-degree day, our first 95-degree day. This typically happens late into June and into July, but isolated storm potential with a slight chance holding on through Monday. There's that 89. That looks great. I mean, Taylor Swift would say that, but that's when you know you've moved into the warmer months when you're like, oh, that looks like a bit of a break. It's a small break. So heat is here.